Hello everyone and welcome to the 2022 family road trip to Norway. Now this is our first stop. With the Model Y we were able to drive all the way to Lone, which is about 404 kilometers. We did it in less than 4 hours. So that is really making some good time here. And we also consumed about 71 kilowatt hours, which I expected to be a little bit more because we ended with roughly 1% left in the battery. So that's not a lot of battery left, but hey, we managed it, and I arrived with 1%. So hey, the t-shirt that I make, it's very appropriate at the moment once more. Now we're going to have a quick snack here. It's just a little bit too early for lunch already, and then we are heading to the next supercharger. The goal of today is to go to Vejle in Denmark, which is roughly about 850 kilometers in total. And yeah, we'll see, but normally in about 9 hours we should be able to reach that. This is what happens when you stop at the supercharger. So we are here currently at the Busdorf supercharger, which is the last one before the Danish border. Again, we added 300 kilometers in about 2 hours and a half, making really good pace on the Autobahn here. The only thing that was quite strange again is that just as before, the car was not giving me a warning about a low state of charge. So I had to constantly switch between the map and the energy consumption to see whether I would make it or not. This is something that I really miss from my S, that it actually was able to show both those widgets on top of each other, and I really miss that in the Y with the single screen here and the horizontal screen with only one widget available at a time. But yeah, so normally in the S you would get a warning that the state of charge was going to be too low and you had to drive like below 130 kilometers an hour before, or to make it to your destination. But here apparently it doesn't do that in the Y for some reason. I don't exactly know why, but it's something I have to keep in mind if I want to go really low, especially on the Autobahn, where I do enjoy gaining some time, of course, with a little bit of speed. So we're going to Vejle hotel from here directly, which is another 2-hour drive, and then tomorrow we go to Legoland and have the kids have some really good time there. Alright, end of the first day, and we did 850 kilometers in just under 9.5 hours, which means we're doing about 90 kilometers an hour on average, including everything, charging, eating, everything. And that also includes a little bit of extra charging, so I don't have to charge tomorrow before we get to our hotel. Where the supercharger is very close by, and where I will charge up to get to the next day where we enter Norway effectively. Now there's a couple of things that I do need to mention about the Model Y, and that is that I'm not the only one who's complaining about the seats, because my oldest son, he was complaining after about 2 hours already that the seats were way too hard and just uncomfortable compared to the Model S seats that we had before. So it's not just in my mind that the seats are not that good, let me put it that way, compared to what I had in the Model S. So that really makes me a little bit afraid of the new Model S, which apparently has the same seats as this. Maybe it's the seating position because it's an SUV, it's a higher up position, which I really don't like, but getting a backache should never happen in any car with any kind of seat, especially not with this price tag. Now what I also noticed is a big difference in stability between the Model Y and the Model S that I used to drive. The Model Y is really susceptible to crosswinds, and it dances all over the place when you hit some crosswinds there. And this is something that the Model S never had. Even in stormy conditions, it was like a train on rails, and it was so sure-footed that you could do anything with it. And the Model Y, shorter wheelbase, higher body on top of that, it does have quite a bit of effect from the wind, and it's not as sure-footed when you're driving, especially at higher speeds. I do not feel as comfortable driving this car at higher speeds than I do with the Model S. But yeah, we got here, we survived. Right now it's about 4:30 in the evening or in the afternoon, and we're getting settled in our room for the hotel where we stay just one night, and then we'll head into town looking for something to eat. So today was a really nice day with the family in Legoland, which was awesome. We had a little bit of rain there as well, but nothing too bad, so we enjoyed the day thoroughly. Right now I'm in Aarhus trying to supercharge, but there's one guy here that is parked in the wrong way. These are stalls where you have to drive through the stall and you plug in at the back, and there's one guy with a Model S who took the front one, blocking basically two stalls at the same time at that point. Now luckily I was here and I could not take the last stall because of that, and another owner actually moved his car and put it sideways, so we're both kind of skewed now, backing into the stalls to be able to still charge both of us. Now the charge rate at the moment is a poor 53 kilowatts, so it's not really worthy of the name supercharger at this point, but it is a full house with the full 6 stalls occupied. And I have a friend, a follower on my YouTube channel, who actually warned me about this place being really busy and really slow. So I guess I'll be here for quite a while. I need to be able to charge up enough to first of all get us tomorrow to Hirtshals, where we board the ferry towards Kristiansand, and from Kristiansand we then drive to Lyngdal, which will be the first supercharger. So yeah, from here to Hirtshals it's still about 2 hours of driving, so I need to charge up quite a bit to make it to the first stop, where we'll also do our first shopping tomorrow. Good morning everyone, and as you can see by these very sleepy eyes, it's been a rough night. Haven't had much sleep. Wasn't really a good bed that we had here, but also it is right now 6 o'clock in the morning. We have to get up really early today because we have 2 hours of driving to do towards Hirtshals to be on time to board the ferry. We have to be there before 9 o'clock. It's still 2 hours driving, and I still have to wake up the kids. So yeah, short night, very rough night, but today we will enter Norway, and then our journey will really begin. So let's go. Good evening from Norway. Now look at this view here. It's really nice all around, right? So this is a really nice house with a view. Unfortunately, ever since we set foot on Norwegian soil, it has been raining. It only just now stopped and still a little bit drizzling at the moment. But yeah, the house is really nice. We had good dinner, and tomorrow there should be really nice weather for us to go rail biking in Flekkefjord. And after that we'll have the kids play a little bit around here around the house. There are some really cool things that I will show tomorrow as well, when the weather is a little bit better and I can put the drone up in the air as well. So for now we're just going to relax a little bit, and tomorrow is our first adventure, rail biking in Flekkefjord. See you then. Today was a really interesting day. At first in the morning we went to Trondheim, which is a very steep and narrow one-way road, which was very interesting to see, and you have a nice old bridge at the end where you used to be able to drive over it, but now you can't anymore. So I took some drone shots there, which were really nice. And then in the afternoon we went rail biking in Flekkefjord, and they gave me some faulty equipment there. So I actually had a lot of struggle to get it moving at first, and me and my oldest son, we were on the same bike, and yeah, it was really hard work to get it going. And then in the return trip we actually lost our front wheel. The bike just fell apart and it was not repairable anymore. Now luckily there were a few nice people behind us that took us along for the remainder of the ride, but yeah, it was not going as expected. And then yeah, this is the last night that we are spending here in Flekkefjord in the nice house. The kids love playing here. There's like a huge net in between the trees where the youngest one loves to play. And tomorrow we're getting up bright and early to go to Stavanger and do some sightseeing along the way. Hopefully the weather is going to be like this, but if I look at the forecast, it's going to be heavily clouded at least, but hopefully it will still be dry.